Welcome to the Do Good X podcast, a sanctuary from the entrepreneurial grind. Hosts Kimberly Danielle and Stephen Lewis, advocates for impactful entrepreneurship, guide you on the path where purpose meets business. Join us to slow down, reconnect, and explore the challenges of under-resourced entrepreneurs, uncovering the unique journey of building businesses that make a difference. Now, your host.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Do Good X podcast. My name is Kimberly Danielle, and I am a community builder, a communication strategist, and a coach who comes from generations of faith-driven leaders and entrepreneurs who believe that our purpose should drive us to contribute to the common good. We thank you for joining us. Stephen, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm a catalyst for positive change in communities and businesses. And for over 2 decades, I have inspired leaders and entrepreneurs to live and work on purpose with intention, faith, and a commitment to their well-being. And so I want to thank the listeners for tuning in with us today. Kimberly, what do we have on deck? I think some of what we're going to talk about here is about we're nearing the end of 2024. And this is the time of the year where you may be reflecting on the progress that you've made as an entrepreneur during the past 12 months and that you're planning ahead. For some of you, you may have grown your business. For others, you may have had to pivot. And for some, you may have experienced setbacks, and some may not have quite hit the mark where you intended to be. Failure is a word that's often mentioned in the entrepreneurial world, and I think it's important to discuss now, especially if this has come up for you as we reflect back on the year. So today we're going to chat about failure.
Yeah, if you've been a loyal listener, even if you've listened to, a few of our podcast episodes in this season, we've really talked to quite a bit of founders and other folks who have spoken about failure and what that has looked like for them and how they have grown from it. So I do think that this is an important conversation to have, and not just, on our podcast. As I am out networking and talking to others in the entrepreneurial community, failure is a thing. It can get in the way, or it can really set someone up well, depending on perspective and how they approach it. So, yeah, I think this is a good conversation for us to have today, Stephen.
Yeah. So, one of the things when I think about failure, we oftentimes think of it as kind of a negative perception, or we have a negative perception around failure, which creates a narrative that this is something that entrepreneurs should avoid. Now, the statistic is 9 in 10 entrepreneurs fail. Right. So you should come into this work with the idea that failure is part of, what comes with the business. And I think part of this is recognizing that success comes from learning from our setbacks and our challenges, of what we may experience as failure. I think, part of this is recognizing that it's not so much as, failing backwards, but it really is failing forward. How do you take your, how do you take these losses that you may experience failure as and actually turn them into lessons, things that help you make better decisions about where it is that you're trying to go in your business and where you might need to pivot to actually move in that direction. What would you say, Kimberly?
Right. I mean, just building off of that, it's important to just embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Yeah. I've heard several entrepreneurs that I've talked to kind of shift that negative perspective that you mentioned, and really don't think about failure as being something negative. Failure is something that happens to actually get you on the path, to get your business on the path that it's supposed to be. So it really can be a catalyst for your personal growth as a founder, as an entrepreneur, a catalyst for growth for your business, because maybe it's saying, hey, maybe you need to shift customers, or maybe you need to pivot your product, the features of your product or your service or your revenue model. It's showing you what you can change and shift in your business or change in order to really set yourself and your business up well. But that only happens if you don't allow failure to get in your way. And failure can also strengthen your resilience and perseverance if you're looking at it as an opportunity for growth and not the end all be all. And then it can also provide the opportunity to build a stronger business. Again, it grows, it can be a stronger business, have a more solid foundation in which you operate off of. And so, again, to what you're saying, Stephen, it is about perspective, it's about mindset, it's about looking at failure as an opportunity to learn, to reflect, and to make changes in order to do and be better.
Yeah. I think, what's most important is that you try not to avoid it because it's unavoidable. Failure will come with the work. And I think it's, how you overcome it and what you do with it that's most important. So, I think, when I think about what we have done, Kimberly, I mean, we've had a lot of setbacks. So maybe you don't want to use the word failure. Maybe it's a setback. A setback means that you can get up and you can step forward, right? So, but we've had a number of setbacks from moving from, a in-person to a virtual to thinking about how we shift our customer base in order to get, more people involved in our work to a number of different things that we've done. And so I think part of, when you think about failures or setbacks is really taking the time to reflect on what you need to learn and how you will move forward, which is really important. How do you really get clear about what is it that I need to learn in this moment? What am I learning in this actual moment that feels like failure? And what do I need to do different so that I don't keep repeating this? Or what is this moment teaching me that I need to attend to so that I can actually move forward? I think also it's about attending to your mindset. It's, your set of beliefs that shape how you view yourself and the world. I mean, failure can often shift the ways that we think about ourselves and our business. And in many ways, they're ways that don't really serve us well. So how are you building a mindset that pushes you forward instead of pulling you backwards? And that mindset is a big part of it, because you and I both know that your mind can play terrible tricks on us and make us think that, we haven't been as successful as we want to be, or we're not where we should be. And we don't take time to sit back and think about our gratitude, about what have we been successful in? What did we overcome to get to where we are? And as we come to the end of the year, you're still here. You're still here working on that business. So I think part of it is about how do you recognize a community that can sometimes identify what you can't always see in spite of your setbacks or your failures, that they can point out the successes. They can maybe point out to you the things you may need to pay attention to in terms of your own, what you need to be grateful for. And so I think finding that community of support that can help you navigate the ups and downs of which you may experience in the business, or which you may perceive to be failure, will help mitigate some of those mindsets and things that we oftentimes are trying to avoid, which are unavoidable.
Yeah, that's so important. Today I have on a shirt that says, be kind. And I would say, be kind to your mind. In order to move to these moments, be kind to your mind, give yourself some grace. And when failure happens, I'm not going to say if, because it will, or those setbacks, like Stephen said, when those setbacks happen, again, think to yourself, what am I grateful for in this learning opportunity to set me up better for what's next? And how can you be more gentle with yourself and have that community of support around you? So, really, as you're reflecting back on this year and you're looking at areas of growth, of learning, those setbacks or challenges that you have, make sure you celebrate the successes and make sure you look at those opportunities of growth and those setbacks as something that will move you forward in the way and the path towards success for your business in 2025. Now, if you are ready to turn your setbacks into stepping stones, we also can be a resource for you at Do Good X. We invite you to go to dogoodx.org. Here you can explore our resources, our program, and connect with a community of like-minded entrepreneurs and change makers who want to support one another. And so, make sure you visit dogoodx.org. And if you've enjoyed this brief episode with me and Stephen, make sure you leave us a rating or share this episode with somebody who needs to hear this, who's wrestling with failure and need help in shifting their perspective to something that is more supportive to their well-being and to their business moving forward. We thank you for joining us again. And until next time, be well and do good.
Thank you for listening to the Do Good X podcast. To continue the conversation or access our resources, visit www.dogoodx.org. Join us again for conversations that will nourish your soul, ignite your dreams, and empower you to build an impactful business, one intentional step at a time. Until then, keep striving, thriving, and doing good.